House needs painting, grass needs mowing, where's he at?
Hi, this is Hank. Sorry I missed your call. Leave me your name and your number and I'll get back to you.
He's gone fishing.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Mossy Oak and Liqua Molly.
Welcome to Off the Water with Hank Parker. I'm your co-host, Sarah Beth, and you are...
Hello, Sarah Beth. I'm Hank Parker, and it's so good to see you.
You are.
Yeah, man, it's so awesome to have a pretty granddaughter, and I'm so glad you're with me today. People say, you know, I don't like your podcast when Sarah Beth's not on it, so I'm glad you're on it today. Maybe somebody's going to like it.
Maybe. We'll see.
You know, I'm in a very bad mood right now. I went to the Hall of Fame, and we're going to talk about that. I want to talk about the Hall of Fame, the Pro Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. And I'm going to talk about that, and the guys that are in it. There's 103 guys, and I think out of 103, about 90 are still alive. We've got some members that are deceased, and that's heartbreaking because I looked at Guido, and I looked at Ricky Green, and I looked at Ray Scott, and I looked at Forrest Wood as they put their pictures up. Just breaks your heart, man, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, I'm going to talk about what I found when I got home. Now, I've been gone for 5 days, and I left the most beautiful food plots. Oh, they needed rain, though. Gosh, we hadn't had any rain.
Yeah, so y'all remember that video we posted about come plot the fields with us, and it was going really good.
So I came home all excited because we got 1.25 inches rain, and I go down to my 2 favorite food plots, and the army worms have annihilated them. It looked like my desktop. I mean, I had Green Patch Plus, I had buck forage oats, I had brassicas, I had wheat, I had rye, I had it this tall, and now it looks like a plowed field. It is totally, absolutely devastated. I just got through spraying, and I probably I'm going to be able to save, because I sprayed maybe about 10% of the field. 90%'s gone. I mean,
Do you think they're already in the other fields too, or no?
They got 2 of my favorite ones, but there's 3 that have not been hit. I got to check them better tomorrow. I've been busy, golly.
Yeah, I know you have.
I just ran down there to look at them, all happy, you know, because we got rain, and I knew they were going to be beautiful, and I go down there, and it's just so devastating. Army worms, God, I hate them. They fly in with moths, and they lay the
eggs.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep,
Happened so quickly. 5 days, they have eaten about 8 acres of beautiful food plot. It's crazy. It is just crazy. But anyway, so I'm not happy. I'm not like Phil today. I'm not happy. By the way, Phil is the happiest he's ever been. He's in heaven kicking up gold dust while we're down here dealing with army worms.
Yeah, dealing with army worms.
Yeah, he used to deal with beavers. He hated beavers. I hate army worms. So pestilence, you know, if that woman wouldn't have ate that apple.
Hey, no.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, no, if Adam would have been doing his job, that snake would have never been in the garden to begin with.
Now we're going to go to the longest argument in history. The snake beguiled the woman beguiled the man, and here we are with army worms and beavers.
Here we are.
That's all I got to say about that. All right, let's talk about good things. I went to the Hall of Fame at Springfield, Missouri, and I want to take and salute Johnny Morris with Bass Pro. Some people may love him, some people may not love him, but I'm going to tell you, Johnny Morris single-handedly is the biggest contributor by far to conservation in the outdoors.
Oh, easily. I'd say so.
Oh, yeah. But he's bigger than any 25 combined. It is amazing what he does in the name of conservation. And he provides us with an incredible hall and a home for the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. And it is just awesome. I went through the Wonders of Wildlife Museum. Martha and I went, and we stayed an extra day just to go through the museum and the aquarium. It's been voted the world's greatest aquarium like 15 times out of the last 20 or 10 out of the last 11 years. It's amazing, but we walked through that thing, and they have all this big Hall of Fame, Bass Fishing Hall of Fame suite through the tour that you take from the Wonders of Wildlife. So you get to go through the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, and there's so much history there. They've got the International Game of Fish Hall of Fame, which I'm a part of, you know, and there isn't a whole lot of bass fishermen. Van Dam and Clun, Roland, Bill, Al Linder. That's the only ones I can think of that on the bass fishing side are in that Hall of Fame, and so I'm flattered to be there. But nevertheless, all that is on display there, and it's so wonderful, man. The history is rich, and they got a big display, and they paired people together and kind of ranked them a little bit. So it's kind of funny that I'm in there with Roland Martin, Bill Dance, and Hank Parker.
Yeah.
I'm flattered, man. I thought, how in the world did I get in that fraternity? That is big time
fraternity.
right there. Yeah, man. I'm hobnobbing with the world's greatest, so that's pretty cool. But I enjoyed that. Martha and I really, really, really enjoyed it. But the dinner, that's what I want to talk about.
Okay, the dinner. What happened at dinner?
Dinner was awesome. I sat with Larry Nixon and Amy, his wife, at our table. Shaw Grigsby. It was so awesome to hang out with Shaw. And my buddy Basil Bacon. Basil is 88 years old and is in awesome shape. It is amazing. He's sharp as a tack. And I just listened to all the different conversations, you know. I got to see Gary Klein, got to see KVD and Skeet Reeves, and just a lot of guys. My hero, Bobby Murray, was there, and his twin brother, Billy. I hadn't seen Billy in a long time.
Bobby and Billy.
Both of them are just awesome fishermen. Bobby says Billy's the best. Billy says Bobby's the best. So,
hey, at least there's no sibling rivalry. They hype each other up.
Those twins complement each other well, and they look alike. I think Bobby has aged a little better than Billy.
Yeah.
But Bobby is... he's my hero. Bobby Murray could catch fish in deep water, shallow water, muddy water, clear water, cold water, hot water. It did not matter what time of year Bobby would catch them now.
Wow.
He won the first Bassmaster Classic, and they got those boats all lined up, taking off on Lake Mead, and they got an aerial photograph they took from a helicopter way before drones, 1971. And it was just amazing that I watched that with my dad on television. And I thought, man, I'd love to be there. How awesome would it be to be lined up and fishing in the Bassmaster Classic, the World Championship of Bass Fishing. And to look at that photograph, it brought back so many memories. And if you get a chance and you really like history and you like fishing, the fishing history in the Hall of Fame at the Wonders of Wildlife Museum in Springfield, right there at Bass Pro headquarters, or store number 1, not their headquarters, store number 1. It is worth the price of admission and a day of your time to go through the Wonders of Wildlife Museum.
That's pretty awesome.
It is so awesome.
That's pretty awesome. I need to go. You go every year, and I haven't been once.
Well, you know, they keep changing and adding so much, and I hadn't been through it in, I guess, 4 years since I'd gone through it. And Martha and I took the whole day. We spent about 5 hours going through it, and we pretty much rushed. I mean, there's so much to see, and there's so much history there. It's really good. And there were a bunch of school kids there that... it's National Wildlife Week or something, and
like a field trip.
Yeah. I mean, there were like 14 or 15 busloads of kids.
Whoa.
Oh, we lost power.
Whoa.
Man, that was...
Our mics just kind of went out, too.
Uh-oh. We're going to take our commercial break.
Commercial break.
Hey, we want to give a shout out to Liqua Moly. Man, they've got a great product. You need to go look them up at liquamoly.com. And we're going to give a shout out to Mossy Oak Properties, Mossy Oak Native Nursery, and Mossy Oak Biologic. Yep, that's the seed I plant, Mossy Oak Biologic. And army worms will eat them, unfortunately.
They sure will. Hey, if you want to make your own army worm get you some Mossy Oak.
Plant you a good tender food plot. Oh, man.
Go. Well, we are back from our Technical problems.
It was the whole power system. I mean, it happened in our home, and here I thought something maybe in our soundboard.
It's been thunderstorming. We're supposed to be getting bits of that hurricane coming through North and South Carolina. I think it's going to bypass us for the most part, but we're still dealing with some thunderstorms.
Thunderstorms. We don't like thunderstorms, but nevertheless, we got knocked out of power, and I was rudely interrupted when I was talking about the Wonders of Wildlife Museum. But now we're going to circle back. If you have a chance, it's a wonderful thing. They had all these school kids there going through field trips, learning so much history, a lot about Native Americans and their history and how they hunted and a lot of the animals. It's just it's fascinating. I can't possibly describe, even do remote justice to how awesome it is. So you just have to go and be a part of it. But I'm flattered to be there in the Hall of Fame and be with Roland and Bill, and that's pretty cool. So we're going to talk about now the dinner. The dinner. How awesome it is to see all your old buddies and
we're already on the dinner. You said who you were sitting with at the table.
I did.
That's where you were left off.
All right, let me ask you, who was I sitting with? Okay, who was I sitting with?
Basil Bacon.
Okay, you did good.
Who else was there?
I
know that you said like the people that were part of it. Like,
Here
I'm not good with names. I got Basil Bacon because that was a different type of name. Somebody else.
Okay, I had Mr. and Mrs. Louis Stout also. I didn't mention them. Louis is a great outdoor writer, great friend of mine. He's got a beautiful wife. They sat with us. And who else sat with us? I mentioned it. How about Larry Nixon and Amy?
Yeah, Larry Nixon.
Larry and Amy Nixon.
Only thing I saw.
How about my buddy Shaw Grigsby? Okay. So we all sat at the table, and I listened. I eavesdropped on several other tables.
I bet you did.
Did.
Wait, hold on. How can you eavesdrop? You can't hear nothing. So when I call you across the room and say, "Hey, Papa, what are we doing today?"
That's right.
You just choose
to
ignore.
Selective hearing. I hear what I want to hear. That's what your mama says. She says, "I hear everything I want to hear." She can be talking about something that I need to do and I can't hear, and she can whisper money, and I'll say, "What?
What?
Yep.
Who?
I know exactly.
How
much? Yep. How much did you spend? Amazon's coming with that." So I hear pretty good when I want to.
Yeah.
So I was eavesdropping, and the one thing that I noticed, to be in the Hall of Fame, first of all, you have to be 50 years old.
Oh.
So the good news, I'm in the Hall of Fame. The bad news is I've been in it for 22 years.
Oh, wow.
That is the bad news.
Oops.
So I got inducted my very first year. Actually, I got inducted before I was 50. I was 2 months away from being 5 months away. I was 5 months away from being 50 when I was inducted. So that's pretty high cotton right there.
That is pretty high cotton.
Yeah, flattery. So I've been there for 22 years. That makes me old. But that's okay. Old is not bad if you're still young at heart.
Yeah.
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 You don't think I'm young at heart?
No, yeah, you definitely are.
Man, let me tell you what I did yesterday.
I don't think he ever grew up.
Let me tell you what I did yesterday. I got up yesterday morning at 8 o'clock. I left here at 8:30. I drove to Winchester, Kentucky. I signed autographs for 2 hours. I spoke at a wild game dinner. I signed autographs for about 45 minutes after the dinner was over, and I spoke for an hour. And then I got in my car, and I drove straight back home. And I got home this morning just before 4
you do more than most people working a blue-collar 9 to 5. And it's a lot more.
I got home at 4 a.m. this morning, and I'm telling you what, I'm not quite as spiffy as I normally am.
No. And the army worms happen.
Oh,
that's why
devastated.
I called Martha, my mama, and I was like, Is he going to want to record a podcast? Like, I can do it another time this week.
No, we got to do it, man. It's good. I want to talk about the Hall of Fame, and I'm going to get back to my eavesdropping, as you said that I couldn't do, but I did do. And one thing I want to point out is there's a couple of the younger guys, and there's one guy in particular that said bass fishing is not a sport. And, I don't like that. I don't like negativity, but that's not true at all. It's not a franchise sport. It's not owned by individuals, and you have teams like the Dallas Cowboys or like the Carolina Panthers or like a basketball team or a NASCAR team.
Right.
It's a different, it's a sanctioning organization, and the sanctioning organization pulls in sponsors and they pay out money.
Yeah.
But you can't make it necessarily on winnings and sponsor money unless you're KVD. You got a platform that they give you to be able to build credentials and to go out and market yourself. And they give you that opportunity. And so I made a living for 50 plus years in the industry because Ray Scott had this crazy idea of putting on a bass tournament. And he built an organization that had credibility. He did not allow, everybody thought bass fishing was a bunch of cheaters, and Ray made sure that he established that is not the case at all. And then everybody thought, well, bass fishing is just a bunch of luck. And Ray established a 3-day event where you culled your fish, the biggest stringers combined after 3 days of competition. Some events were 4 days. It eliminated the luck factor. So it established a very solid platform for us to be able to contribute. Right. And when I looked around that room in the Hall of Fame and looked on the screen, like I say, there's quite a few. When you look at Forrest Wood, you look at Jerry McInnes, you look at Blake Honeycutt, you look at Billy Westmoreland, Guido Hibden, those guys have passed on. But they were a very important part of this sport. And they joined up with Ray in his dream. Ray dreamed of building this thing up where it could be exciting and you could establish the best of the best and you could honestly showcase your talent. And it was not a luck factor. It was not cheating. It was a credible sport. Ray established that. Well, all these old-timers, they embraced that, and they teamed up with Ray. They shared that dream. They picked up on what he was leading us and united with him to build this sport. And so we were all in it together, and we all had skin in the game, and we all looked at it with enthusiasm. We all looked at it with opportunity. And yes, there were decisions made that didn't fit my agenda, that were not the best decisions for me personally, and so for 500 other guys. But you just took it for what it was. You can't always get what you want. And John Kennedy said it better than anybody back in the 60s about, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Amen.
Yeah, ask not what the sport of bass fishing can do for you, but what can you do to help build the sport of bass fishing to make it better? So the room with all these 50-year-old plus guys have a different attitude than what is reflected from the younger guys on social media. So here's what I want to happen. I want us, the older guys, the Hall of Famers, I want us to take the lead and set a positive role and be a positive role model for these younger guys to appreciate the sport and build it instead of all the negativity tearing it down.
Yeah.
And people don't realize, man, Chase Anderson, he don't need all this. Man, he could just walk away. Boyd Duckett, he don't need all this. He could just walk away. So if you destroyed bass and Major League Fishing, our sport's pretty much gone. So we got to be careful. And I looked at that, and I looked at that group of people, and I so much admire them, and I so much respect them. And it's just a different attitude, and we all need to work together. And I'm not picking on the young guys. Maybe I am. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. We got to be respectful, and we got to appreciate and respect one another. And so I look back at what ifs. I heard so many people talking at the table about this tournament, that tournament, what if. Davey Hite and I was talking, and I weighed Davey Hite in 1999 in New Orleans, Louisiana, in the Bassmaster Classic. He won it. And all he could talk about was, God, I lost a giant. You can't believe how big this fish was. This was an 8 or 9 pounder. I had him right up to the boat. I almost touched him. And I said, Davey, hold on. It's over. You won. It don't matter.
Yeah.
It don't matter. But he was tore up over losing that fish. And he said, but what if, I said, what if it's over with?
You can't turn back the clock and go back in there now.
You don't need him.
Yeah.
You won big time without him.
Right.
So don't worry about that fish. And those are the kind of funny things and stories that make you kind of smile and laugh. But some of your what ifs could have been game changers, and it didn't happen. You know, I look back at Jack Chancellor won the Bassmaster Classic. I'm trying to think what year it was. It might have been 86, and it was in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and I'm not sure about the year. And Jack Chancellor's from Phoenix City, Alabama. He had a little worm called the do-nothing worm. And Jack, he almost won on the Alabama River when Paul Elias won. And he almost won again on the Alabama River when Stanley Mitchell won in 81. So Jack was a fierce competitor, and he was a great structure fisherman. He fished deep water really, really well. But Pine Bluff, Arkansas, I finished third there in the first classic that I fished. Clun won it, and I should have finished second. What if? I lost two really good fish that would have easily put me in the second, but I didn't, and that's okay. What if? But when we went back to Pine Bluff, we had a big dispute with Helen Sevier, Bass, and Ray Scott over not wearing a patch. They made it a rule where if you were wearing a patch that competed, let's just say Stren was the official line of bass, and you were wearing a Berkeley Trilene patch.
Oh, that's a no-no, apparently.
You couldn't wear it.
Yeah.
They would not allow you to wear a Berkeley Trilene patch, but now you could wear a Stren patch because Stren was their sponsor. But you could not wear a conflicting sponsor patch.
Yeah.
And so...
That's not fair.
Well, the reason it wasn't fair is because there's not enough money paid out in bass to be able to tell you, hey, we're going to take a portion of that Stren money and we're going to divide it to you guys, and therefore you're hurting yourself, so let's don't wear any patches that conflict with our sponsor, and we're going to give you a lot more money. That's what, when they did the FLW years ago, when Irwin Jacobs started FLW, he made it a rule you couldn't do that, but he was giving you way, way, way more money.
So you were compensated for what you would have lost out.
That's right. Yeah, he was taking a percentage of all those sponsor dollars, and he was putting them in the pot. So he had enough support on what he was doing to justify doing that. But they tried to do that in bass, and, man, we were fighting like the crazy to try to make a living. And now all of a sudden you're taking away our only source of income, because if we can't wear the patch in the Bassmaster Classic, Berkeley Trilene's not going to sponsor me.
No.
You know, Mercury Outboard's not going to sponsor me. I mean, I'm a Mercury fisherman. I'm a Trilene fisherman. I'm a Humminbird fisherman. Well, one year they would run a different brand outboard. One year they'd run a different brand of electronics, and they mixed that thing up. So it was just be chaos for them to rule. So we were all told we could not fish.
Yeah.
And we all took a stand. You know, Ricky Clun called me and he said, "What you going to do?" I said, "Ricky, I'm not going." He said, "I'm not going either." Jimmy Houston called me and said, "What you going to do, Hank?" I said, "I'm not going." There wasn't but two fishermen that were going to go. And Ricky Green made a phone call to Bill Clinton, who was the governor at that time of Arkansas, and said, "Hey, this big event that you guys just pumped about $500,000 in is going to be a bomb because none of the superstars that qualified are going to show up."
Yeah.
And that got things turned around.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I did not go to Pine Bluff and practice.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think I was going to be able to fish it till 3 days before the event, and it really was not fair.
Wow.
I was one of the ringleaders on saying, "Guys, we need to make a stand here." And so I was discriminated against when they lifted that rule about 2 weeks before the Classic. Nobody notified me. I didn't know it. So I didn't pre-fish. And so it was 3 days before the Classic.
So you weren't prepared whatsoever.
At all.
So, yeah.
I wasn't. But I had been there before because we had fished the Classic there a couple of years earlier. And so I was a little bit familiar. And I had gone there and practiced. And we could fish, we could lock through and fish an upper pool, and there was a place up there called Brody Bend, and that's where I finished third. I love Brody Bend. So I'm thinking I may go up there, and you only have 1 day of practice in the Classic, 1 day. And so I was going to go, there's 2 locks that you can go through. I think it's the Marigold Pool, something like that. It was the third pool far away. And I went down there to practice because I knew if I didn't put anything together in practice, I knew I was going to Brody Bend and fish where I'd fished before. And I was familiar with that water. So that was my plan. So I go down and I lock through those 2 pools, and I go down and I fish for about, maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, all the way as far as you could go down around the dam, as far down in the third pool after going through the 2 locks. And I didn't do any good, and I just kind of working my way back up. And there is an old elevator building where they load barges that was shut down, probably hadn't been used in 20 years. Wow. But there were canals cut in that thing where these barges could get in there and they'd pump grain on them or take grain off of them. I'm not sure exactly what it was. And with those canals cut, they took the spoils and they piled it up, so there's hilltops out there. And I had looked at them, the first Classic that I fished, and I caught a couple fish off of those hills. And so I'm thinking, I need to check that out. So I go in there, and I throw a big crankbait, and boom, man, I catch a good one, about a 5.5 pounder. Yeah. And there's 15 following him. Caught him on a crankbait, and wow. I mean, there was a school. I thought, oh no. So now I'm thinking, golly bum, what if somebody else knows this place is here? Because now I'm going to lock through 2 pools. And if I get there and somebody's on that spot, that's the only thing I know. So I checked around and I fished around other places, and I put nothing together. So I had that 1 spot. So I had to go through pool 1, pool 2, pool 3. Yeah. So you have to go through all those locks, which takes a lot of time. Yeah. And when I get there, I'm in the second flight, but I didn't see another boat in the area. And I sat around and I waited and I watched, and these fish were so aggressive, I didn't think anybody'd fool with them at all. I thought, man, this is going to be good. You can win this Classic right here. Right. So I locked through and get down there the first morning, and Jack Chancellor's sitting on it.
Oh. I'd be like, how deep is the lake? Just get you a little cylinder block and some rope. You won't know.
He wins the Classic.
Of course he does.
Sitting on that 1 spot.
And you knew.
And what if? What if he had not been there?
What if?
Yeah. What if? What if he had not been there?
You probably would have won it.
Yeah. That's exactly what would happen.
Crazy.
Yeah. So
he was a part of the first flight. So the first set that went out. Correct.
Yeah, he was in the first flight.
Yes.
But I had no idea he knew about the spot. I had no way of knowing. I mean, and so that's the way it worked out. What if? And then you look at the 88 Classic. Guido Hibden won it, and he deserved to win it. But in 1988, I had way more fish found than I had in 1989 when I won. Yeah. But what happens, and this has been happening, and nobody means any harm with this, but you have a gallery that follow you, boats follow you, and they get behind you and they put their troll motor down and they watch you fish. And in 1988, there were probably 25 boats followed me every day. And so I'm trying to fish these creeks, and what I want to do, I had 2 creeks that I would love to have stayed in all day because the tide, those fish reposition themselves on the tide. We're fishing the James River right out of Richmond, and the tide is a big deal in those rivers, those tidal rivers. So the tide changes, the fish change. I would like to stay there and just milk an area in a creek that's probably not more than about 40, 45 yards wide. Well, you got 20 boats in there. Running troll motors, running their big motor behind you. So you can't turn around and fish behind you because they're all stacked up, all up on top of the trees and the logs and the cypress knees. Everything you want to fish, they're all over it. Yeah. So there's no way I can do that. I could have won the 1988 Bassmaster Classic. I had enough fish located. So we go back in 89, and I'm thinking, there ain't no way. I found these fish in a place called Brody Bend. And no, Brody Bend was at the Arkansas River. I found these fish in a place called Guns Run on the James River. And Guns Run is a beautiful creek, but it's narrow, and you can't have a gallery of boats following you. You cannot fish it thorough, and it's a one and done deal. I'm going back and forth, and I'm catching a fish about every hour. Mm-hmm. But you can't do that if you got a gallery of boats. So I realized going into the 89 Classic that I've got to figure out a way that I don't have all these boats following me. So I went, there was a big island down there, and on the right side of that island going downriver, there is a big, giant, shallow flat.
Okay.
And so there was one little ditch. I watched a boat, a person that had a dock, and I watched how he maneuvered through there, because I was sitting on the ground. I'd ran aground.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I watched him maneuver, and I thought, oh, man, if I could run the way he's running and all these boats are following me, they would all run aground. Yeah. And I can run through that ditch, and then I can circle on the backside of that island, and then I can go into Guns Run, and I won't have anybody following me.
I'm going to lose them. That's so smart. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Well, I don't know if it's smart. People say, well, that was dirty.
No, hey, that's not book smart. That's street smart is what that is.
Well, hey, people say, well, that was dirty. You shouldn't have done that.
That's not dirty. Why are you following me?
Yeah, well,
I'm sorry. That's dirty.
The camera boat, the Bassmaster Classic boat. Bob Cobb hated me because I would lose that camera boat. Oh, man, Bob just did not love me because I messed up their TV. But here we go. First day of that Classic, I got 35 boats following me, and they're all lined up. Mm-hmm. So I run, and I get down there, and I got little canes. I took some canes, and I stuck them so I knew exactly where to run. And you had to touch those canes. If you did not touch those canes, you were going to run aground. Yeah. This place is very narrow. It's a very narrow ditch. So I ran behind the island. I had 25, 30 boats following me. They all ran aground. I ran through the little ditch, and I made it. I hit ground a few times, but I had it trimmed up as high as it go, and I knew what I was in for. And I ran a little cane break, and then I circled behind the island where they couldn't see me, and I went into Guns Run. Nobody saw me. So I had it all by myself.
I already know they were probably frustrated if they finally caught up to you.
I ended up winning the tournament.
How did you get through that? Yeah.
I ended up winning the tournament. And they didn't have any footage of me, none. Here I am, the winner.
Elusive.
Yeah, and they don't have any footage. So Bob Cobb was so upset. But I stayed an extra day, and we faked it. We played like it was competition day, and I was doing all the things that I did during the tournament. Exactly. So we reenacted the final day of the Classic. So yeah. It was pretty cool. And, of course, Jim Bitter, he dropped a fish back. He would have won had he not dropped the fish back if it would have measured. I don't know if that fish measured or not. It looked awful small to me, but it may have. But Jim would have won had he not dropped. So what if? What if?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of what ifs. I think things happen for a reason, you know. Things you're supposed to win, things you're not supposed to win.
Well, some things are hard to take, you know. You look back, but I heard all these guys sitting at the table. What if this would have happened? What if that? You remember I did this? And golly, Bob. And Larry's big complaint, and Larry was absolutely legitimate. We fished a tournament on the Finger Lakes in New York and Lake Seneca and Cayuga, and there was a speed limit, a 10-mile-an-hour speed limit in the canal that led from Lake Seneca to Cayuga. Yeah. And we all ran it because it was like 25-mile run, and if you went 10 miles an hour, you wouldn't make it. I mean, you'd spend 5 hours idling, going and coming. So we all ran it. And but at that time, that was not a disqualification rule. But Larry said, we all ought to be disqualified. And he was right. He was right. And they changed the rule after that. They changed the rules and said, no, from this point forward, we're going to make it if you deliberately violate a no-weight speed limit that's posted by the state or federal government, you'll be disqualified. But at that time, you didn't get disqualified.
Hey, what people don't see won't hurt him.
Hey, it was enough of us that we all got turned in. They knew after the first day, the Chamber of Commerce had already called the tournament director and said, "Hey, these guys are flying down this canal." But what if they would have disqualified us all? You know?
Yep, we probably wouldn't be sitting here today.
Yeah, and then I won the Grand Slam. You know, I'm going to brag a little bit. I won the Grand Slam. I was the first guy to win both the Classic and Angler of the Year. Then I was the first guy to ever win every event they had. But then they came back and had a new event after I retired called Superstars. And I missed that 1 ounce. Denny Breyer beat me the first year. I finished second. He won it, and he beat me 1 ounce. 1 ounce. And when there were 3 crawfish in the bottom of my live well. What if those fish had not spit those 3 crawfish up?
Oh, man. Yeah.
I'd have won by half ounce.
You would have won.
Yeah. What if? I mean, now Denny may have had fish throw up crawfish in his boat. I don't know that. But I do know that I had 3 big crawfish in the bottom of my live well, that those fish. And
that's so funny.
I would have put them back down in there if I'd have seen them in time. I don't know if that would have been legal or not. Yeah, open your mouth. Hey, big boy, you done spit these fish out. But, hey, what if? What if those 3 fish? You know, when I won the Grand Slam, the first year it was on Lake Lanier, and Gary Klein was leading it. And the last day, I came in with a big string of fish. And you know how Ray is, Ray Scott. He's just a promoter, and he'd get the crowd excited, and he'd get everybody into it. Well, I came in with the biggest bag of fish the last day.
Oh, yeah. Very, very showtime and glam and the glitz.
That's right.
He put on the show.
That's right. Ray, he hammed it up, boy. He pumped it up. Hank Parker, biggest string of the tournament, come here, let's hold these fish up. And there were a few outdoor riders there, and some guys from the newspaper. It was right out of Atlanta on Lake Lanier, so there was people from Atlanta from the newspaper taking photographs, and they all wanted pictures. And so Ray had us hold up these fish and walk up and down, and Dewey Kendrick was the weighmaster. Dewey held a couple, Ray held a couple, and I did, and we walked up and down. And then when Gary Klein came in, Gary did not have a very big bag. So Ray said, "Hey, Gary, this thing's going to be really, really close. Hank Parker has taken the lead. You need 10-10 to win, 10-9 to tie. Put them on the scales." He didn't hold them up, didn't take them out of the bag. He didn't do nothing. He put them straight on the scales, and Gary beat me. He had 10-10, beat me 1 ounce.
Man, that's what we need to do. We need to get T-shirts and sell them on your bait shop that say "put them on the scales." Do we?
Well, that's why. So you go back to the Bassmaster Classic back in '89. When I came in, all the Richmond Coliseum was full of people, and Ray Scott's going, "Hey A team, hey B team." He's got the whole place rocking. And so I came in with that big bag of fish, and Ray screaming and hollering. And he gets me up on the stage. He said, "All right, let's take these fish out of the bag and hold them up." I said, "Nope, we ain't taking them out of the bag, and I ain't holding them up." He put the mic down, grabbed me by my head, and he said, "Look, boy, this thing's going to be a whole lot more dramatic if you'll hold those fish up." I said, "Ray, it's enough drama for me like it is. Put them on the scales."
Yeah.
Boy, he didn't want to do it, but he did, and I won by 2 ounces. Had I held them fish up and let all them water drops, I'm guarantee you I would not have won. Yeah. So sometimes you can manipulate.
Well, lights are bright anyways in stadiums and coliseums. I think back in the day, they were probably a lot hotter than what they are now, like even the lights. So all of that all would have made sense. You know?
Well, I didn't take them out of the bag, and I didn't want any water drops to fall off of them. So what if? Hank Parker Jr. driving Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s race car, Kansas. It was the first race that NASCAR did the green-white checker for the Busch Series. And Hank Jr.'s leading the race. 3 laps to go. Caution comes out. Hank Jr.'s leading the race. Greg Biffle passed Hank Jr. under the caution, and they put him in front. Wow. It's supposed to freeze the field the second the caution comes out.
Yeah.
And so as a result of that, Biffle got the preferred lane, and green-white checker's only 2 laps.
See, but isn't that cheating?
No.
If the caution is...
It was NASCAR's mistake. It wasn't Biffle's. I don't blame Biffle at all.
Well, he's just trying to win. He's doing what everybody else is trying to do.
Yeah. So NASCAR made the mistake. They put Hank behind Biffle. So Biffle chose the inside lane, which was really the preferred lane.
Right.
And it worked out. Hank Jr. was back up and within just a few inches of winning the race. But no doubt because NASCAR made the mistake and put him second instead of first where he should have been, he would have won that race. What if? 2 weeks later, I'm having a big discussion with the guys at NASCAR, the officials, and they said, hey, we looked at the video. You're right. We made a mistake. It happens. It was pretty close, and we did not freeze Biffle when we should have. And you're right. He did pass Hank Jr. after the caution came out, and it was our bad.
Yeah.
But what if? I mean, you can't
if?
go back and fix those things.
No.
I can't go back and move Jack Chancellor off of that spot.
No.
You know?
Yeah, as much as you want to, and I'm sure you've dreamed about it.
Yeah. You can't fix those kind of things. So
No.
What if? But it was fun listening to all the guys that fish tournaments and how intense it is and how important those things are. And all the what ifs. It was so many guys talking about what if this would happen. You remember when Nixon did this, or you remember when Clun did this, you remember when Rowland did this, and on and on and on. Mm-hmm. It was a bunch of what ifs. So
yeah,
the whole point of all this talk is to let you know you never get over it.
That's true. Yeah, never. That grudge stays with you till the grave.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that it's a grudge. Now I don't have a grudge against Jack. I was happy Jack won. But I was disappointed.
No, not against Jack. Except for the fact that you didn't get there first.
Yeah.
It's not Jack's fault.
Yeah, it's not Jack's fault at all. So it's not a grudge. It's just disappointment, and it's just the way things work out. Yeah. And it's always fascinating to me how you can take, back in the old days, it was 25 guys in the Classic. And it was always fascinating to me how you take 40,000 surface acres of water and put 25 boats on it, and we all end up on top of each other.
Because that's where the good spots are.
It is. And it's amazing how fast these guys find it. When we fished a tournament on Lake Wiley,
it's like they sniff it out.
All my local bass club buddies said, man, you'll win this tournament. You know, this spot. I said, hey, it's going to blow your mind. Every spot that is a secret spot that we have.
It's somebody else's secret spot, too.
No. Nobody else knows it. But these pros are so good, they will find it.
Yeah.
They are so good that all these secret spots that we've had for 15 years, they're going to have 3 days of practice, and they're going to find every one of these spots. And sure enough, there were no open spots. I mean, all these ridges out on the long extended points, these mussel beds that were on the end of these islands that you'd think nobody would find, everybody found them. Wow. They were sitting on them. And that just blew me away because I honestly thought there were going to be some places. I had one place I knew nobody was going to figure out, and you had to get up next to the shore and throw out to be able to catch. I'll go down there thinking, man, I'm going to catch them here.
Yeah.
Nixon.
Oh.
There, and he's perfect. He's got his boat in perfect position.
Come on.
How did he figure that out? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's crazy. And the biggest what if of all, I had a chance to win the 1979, 1980.
It'll come to you.
Yeah, it's coming to me. I got
give him a minute.
The wheels.
Give him a minute.
Old time. Maybe it was 1980. Bass Angler of the Year for National Bass. I had won it twice, and it was Roland and myself, and we went to Santee Cooper. Okay. And Santee Cooper, I total lost 2 bass boats in that one tournament. I think I hold a record. I think I'm the only guy that total lost 2 boats in a single tournament. But I absolutely destroyed my aluminum boat, and then I did a lot of damage to my Ranger 350. I drove it between 2 cypress trees. And
that's my favorite story. Out of all the tournament stories that you have, that one is my favorite for sure.
It was a mess. But, hey, I had a 12-point lead going into that tournament, 12 points over Roland. I came in the first day, and Roland's leading it with a huge string, 38 pounds. Well, I had 36 pounds, so we were neck and neck, boy. And the second day, I total lost my aluminum boat, and I didn't. I caught a little bitty limit. I tied my boat up where it wouldn't sink under the railroad trestle up at Pax Landing, and caught a limit of fish, and then got a ride in with another contestant to weigh my fish, and left my boat tied up where it wouldn't sink, and had to go back and get it. Then the next day, I was trying to get to that spot, and I was cutting through a little cut through Jack's Creek at Santee Cooper, and I got grass on my prop, and when I went to turn, it didn't turn, so I went right between two cypress trees at about 50. Was not good. Had Elmer Pickens from Tennessee as a partner. He looked over at me and said, I knowed we wasn't going to make it. Thank you, Elmer. But anyway, what if? But we left there. Here's the story now. Here's the end of the story. We left there with Roland 3 points ahead. He won the tournament, and he was 3 points ahead of me. So we go the last tournament of the year, Lake Wiley. So now I got to win, and Roland's got to finish 5th or worse for me to win Angler of the Year. So the first day, I'm leading the tournament. Roland's second. Second day of the tournament, Roland does not catch him. Mm-hmm. He falls to about 9th.
Okay.
And I catch him good. So I got a big lead. I'm leading the tournament by 15 pounds.
Yeah. So
it's pretty obvious if I do anything at all the last day, I'm going to win the tournament.
Win. Yeah.
And Roland needs to stay down there about 9th. Well, a buddy of mine, Jim Roberts, who was in the tournament, he fished in an area where Roland was. And so when I came in, I was in the first flight. When I came in, Jim Roberts also was in the first flight, and he was fishing down around Roland. And I said, you got them, Jim? He said, no, they did not do much. They didn't pull water for us. And I said, you see Roland? He said, I've been sitting beside Roland pretty much all day. He's got 2 little fish. Aww. So I thought, I'm going to win Angler of the Year.
Yeah, like, this is it for me.
That's a big deal, Angler of the Year. So Roland comes in, and he caught 2 more fish after he left. He's got 4 small fish. He's going to finish about 10th.
Yeah.
And so he goes, and there's a guy with a pontoon boat beside a Buster Boyd Bridge on Lake Wiley. And Roland's getting ready to turn his flag in. Before he does, he said, how much time have I got? He said, you got 3 minutes. So Roland throws a big weighted DB3, a big Bagley crankbait out there off the point at Buster Boyd Bridge and catches a 6-pounder. Throws it in the boat, flopping in the floor of the boat, turns his flag in with 1 minute left to go. Takes the fish off as he's idling over, drops it in his live well, puts it in the bag. He finishes 4th. He wins Angler of the Year.
Ooh!
Can you believe it? What if? I mean, how crazy is that?
That's crazy.
One, he didn't give up.
Yeah, I was about to say, most people, if they said, oh, you got 3 minutes, they're just packing up. You know?
Most people would have quit. Roland made that long cast and caught that fish and threw it in the boat. Didn't even have time to take it off and put it in a live well, or he would have been late. So he threw it in. It's still flopping in the bottom of the boat, turns his flag in, and he beats me. So
what I've gotten from all this is moral of the story, don't give up. You know, speak out when you don't disagree, when you don't agree with things like rules and things that you don't stand for. Speak out for it and just keep going. Apparently, apparently,
a lot of what ifs in life, you know.
Yeah, a lot of what ifs.
There's a lot of what ifs in fishing, and as I sat in that room and I listened to all these stories and I listened to all these guys with what ifs, I thought, man, I got a bunch of what ifs myself.
Yeah.
I got some killer what ifs. And I could go into a whole lot more what ifs, but we're about out of time, and people are probably bored at all these what ifs. So
we could go on forever, but hey, thank you for tuning in and listening to our what if story time.
What if?
Make sure you check out all of our sponsors down in the description below.
If you're looking to buy a farm, a place to hunt, man, you can go to Mossy Oak Properties. They got a lot of listings, so you can get you a good place to hunt and fish. They got lakes on some of these.
Fish.
Hey.
That's pretty good.
We need to buy us one of these farms that's got one of these 80-acre lakes. Yeah, I need a little bit of cash.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you $2.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hey, it's been a lot of fun today. What if we come back next week and we'll talk about something more fun?
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, see you guys next week.
All right, God bless you. I'll see you later. Thanks.